The level of unprofessionalism and racism was strong with this interviewer at the Venice Film Festival for the After the Hunt press between Andrew Garfield, Julia Roberts, and Ayo Edebiri. Because what do you mean you're asking a question about how we are moving past the politically correct era of the Me Too and Black Lives Matter movement, and how can we expect to move past this politically correct era because both these two movements are done, but excluding asking the black woman there and only addressing the question to Julia and Andrew. Wearing sunglasses inside while conducting an interview outside of a medical reason is highly unprofessional, and we don't have any reason to believe that this woman actually has a medical reason for wearing sunglasses. And sunglasses aside, it's not even about the sunglasses. The entire interview was highly unprofessional and blatantly racist towards Io by specifically excluding her. I love Ayo's answer to the question that she was purposely being excluded from, because she even addressed, I don't know if you're purposely excluding me, even though she did, but I'm going to answer it anyway. And Julia and Andrew giving her the space to do so and address that interviewer. And also Andrew turning his body 90 degrees from facing the interviewer to face Julia and Ayo, because both Julia and Andrew clocked the exclusion that Ayo was experiencing, was brilliant. In my opinion, this journalist did not exhibit the qualities that is necessary for journalism within this precedent.
During the politically correct era, and what we have to expect in Hollywood after the Me Too movement and the Black Lives Matters are done. The two of you, Andrew and Julia.
Well, okay.
Can you repeat that? And with your sunglasses on, I can't tell which of us you're talking to. So
The question was for Julia and Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Now that the Me Too era and the Black Lives Matters are done, what you have to expect in Hollywood, and what thing with the politically correct era?
Well,
it's
I
not
didn't.
done.
Sorry. I know that that's not for me, and I don't know if it's purposeful if it's not me. But I just am curious. I don't think it's done. I agree
It's
with
not
you, too.
done.
I don't think it's done at all. I think maybe hashtags might not be used as much, but I do think that there's work being done by activists, by.
Did y'all see the way that Julia Roberts wanted to check that interviewer? I don't blame Julia Roberts. See, I always loved Julia Roberts. She's beautiful. She always held herself with class, high standards. And we know Julia Roberts, she's always been with us. But the way that she handled that, the way that she looked at the girl, because it's like she wanted to jump at that interviewer, which I don't blame her. And the way that the other lady who was sitting beside Julia Roberts answered that question, I thought that was amazing. And it was good to see Julia and Andrew defend her. And you can tell Andrew was like, why now? Like, why would you want to ask a question like that now? So not praise, but credit to Julia Roberts and Andrew for defending her, because that was just an unnecessary question. Ask the question about the movie, that's all. Like, for real.
Oh, she really just said that. I'm gonna give you one more chance. Take off your sunglasses and look me in the eye, you stupid bitch, and ask that again. Ask again. I dare you.
I don't know if you've all watched the interview with Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield, and Ao, and it's in Italy, and how unbelievably racist it is. But there was something really special for me that happened in the video, and it's when all three of them decided to collectively clock in to what was happening and decide to collectively turn up the petty in the room. At first, you see Andrew Garfield shift his entire body to the face of two ladies. Yes, this is a yellow watermelon. It's very African-American, mind your business. He shifts his body to look at the two ladies to see, y'all hearing this? Ayo then clocks in and looks at him, and she goes, are y'all hearing this? And then Julia, sweet Mrs. Roberts, she leans in and she says, hey, could you take off your shades? Because we could be misconstruing what you're saying, and I really can't see your eyes, so I don't know who the question's directed at. Ayo has already locked the fuck into what's happening, but we just want to see where this is going to go. She then asked the question, and like a sweet song from above, they all collectively realize, let's turn in and pack this hoe up. But Ayo comes in with just like so much grace and clarity and directness towards this interviewer, who then later goes on line to kind of backpedal and be like, well, you misconstrued my words and I didn't mean it that way, and I it was never meant to be offensive, when in actuality, completely disregarding AO from the conversation that involves Me Too as a woman and then also Black Lives Matter as a Black person is exactly what you did. And it was just a beautiful moment for me to see three very, very educated, lovely actors decide as a group, we finna pack this hoe up. It's really made my Monday, and I hope that if you stumble upon it today, it'll make yours. Okay. Have a good Monday.
As soon as Andrew LaDante's spidey senses made him hit that spin, oh baby, I knew Sister Ayo was about to win. So let me show you how to derail an entire press panel in under 20 seconds.
During the politically correct era, and what we have to expect in Hollywood after the Me Too movement and the Black Lives Matters are done. The two of you, Andrew and Julia.
At this point, I don't know if they got this lady off of Craigslist or what, but the phrasing on that question was absolutely clumsy. And to say something as insensitive as Black Lives Matter and Me Too are over is to literally erase the people that are still fighting for equality behind the scenes every single day. Like, baby, movements don't disappear just because they stop trending. It was the way that Sister Julia Danae Roberts leaned forward and said,
Can you repeat that? And I with your sunglasses on, I can't tell which of us you're talking to. So,
an A-class media trained shade aside, she literally only posed that question to Andrew and Julia, leaving Ayo, the Black woman, unacknowledged until she quite literally spoke up for herself. That silence to me really speaks volumes about who's seen and who's overlooked in these rooms. So I truly appreciated the way that Andrew and Julia both just sat there and gave Ayo the stage and let her speak. Because here's the irony of this whole entire situation. The movie that they're in Venice to promote, called After the Hunt, that comes out October 10th, is literally about truth, power, and the consequences of staying silent. So this moment unintentionally mirrored the very theme of the movie. I can't make it up. Which only further proves why conversations like these are still so vital, because these stories are not just entertainment, they are quite literally a reflection of our reality. And while we added kudos to Queen Sister Ayo La Rochelle Adibre, because the way that she handled that response with such grace and poise, she really needed an award just for her response. Because God's still working on me. I don't know.
Every single one of these people had the most perfect reaction to the most insane question to be asked. Insane, inappropriate, racist, sexist. And I will caveat and say, the Me Too question is very pertinent to this film storyline. So like that area of the question isn't out of the realm of why they're having this conversation. It's the way in which she phrased it twice, and then actively excluded the one person who really should be answering it. And if you didn't see the interview, here is the question. Now that the Me Too era and the Black Lives Matter movement are done, what do we have to expect in Hollywood? What have we lost with the politically correct era? Very much an alt-right vibe. Then Ayo gave such an eloquent, thoughtful, much kinder answer than this woman deserved. She basically was like, I don't think it's done at all. There are activists and people working every day to make sure that those causes move forward. It's just not highlighted as much in mainstream media. And as a white person, a white woman specifically, I think Julia Roberts is who I aspire to be in that scenario. Dead ass says, you take those sunglasses off and look me in the eyes if you're about to say something that dumb. With the very aggressive tone of like, I'm gonna let you repeat yourself, but you better fix what you just said. And then the woman absolutely doesn't. The reporter does not. Julia Roberts was ready to go in with the big mistake, huge energy that she had in Pretty Woman. And like when I was like, no, I'm gonna step in and answer this question, she totally let her, which is exactly the right thing to do. But oh my God, I would have loved to see, because I think she was about to go fucking off on her. Like, do you know who paid for this woman's birth? Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife, because her parents were close friends with them. And now the interviewer is coming out and saying like, wow, people are really trying to attack me for having journalistic integrity. Like, your phrasing of that question had no integrity. That's the issue that you clearly can't seem to understand. And then on top of a bad question, you actively, purposely left out the person who would have the most valid take on it. You actively did it. That is why Julia Roberts was like, there is maybe a language barrier here. I'm going to let you ask that in a different way. And then she just doubled down. Crazy behavior, but bravo to these three.
Let's start with the day you were born. Who paid for the hospital bill?
The King family paid for my hospital bill.
Not my family.
Not your family, but
Martin Luther King Jr.
and Coretta.
And how did that come about? Why did they do that? Because your dad, Walter Roberts.
Yes, and obviously because my parents couldn't pay for the hospital bill. My parents had a theater school in Atlanta called the Actors and Writers Workshop. And one day, Coretta Scott King called my mother and asked if her kids could be part of the school because they were having a hard time finding a place that would accept her kids. And my mom was like, sure, come on over. And so they just all became friends and they helped us out of a jam.
Yeah, because in the 60s, you didn't have little black children interacting with little white kids in acting school.
Right.
And your parents were like, come on in.
Yeah.
I think that's extraordinary.
Yeah.
And it sort of lays the groundwork for who you are.
Oh, absolutely.